And I think that like what's important for people when they watch this interview, when they're learning about you, is they need to know that you've been doing this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Not just as an artist, but in the background too, as a producer on the back end of things.
Hell
and I
yeah.
think that's something that I want to make sure that we highlight here today, because I think that your contributions to the Afrobeats culture as a whole through production is very important and needs to be discussed when we talk about finesse too.
Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate that because I've been putting in the work, man. I've been putting in the work since I was like 16. You know, working with people like Olamide, the Fireboy, Adekunle Gold, the Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Tiwa Savage, Tenny, the Entertainer. Just to name a few, man. Like
just a few very small artists.
Yeah. So back home, it's been crazy. I've been, it's been back-to-back hits every year, all year.
That's fire. I want to tell like your story in full then, so people can fully grasp like the beginning. So you started when you were 16, right? Producing, making beats.
Yeah, making beats.
Because obviously Afrobeats has been around, but I know like it's been like the past like 10 years that it really has kind of come to fruition and become what it is now. What were you making back then? Was it of like that same type of sound, or how did you kind of start building up this sound, at least within your catalog and what you were creating?
For me, it was not really about the Afrobeat sound. It was just about music in general. Like starting up as a kid. I just wanted to make music, and I was influenced by all types of music, from the Kenny G's to the Yannis to to the Boys to Men to down to gospel to like Fred Hammonds, and like I just wanted to make music, to Fela, to Lagbaja and all the rest. So for me it was just experimenting and very and just playing around with different sound and different textures and just creating something new every time.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So, who was your first big placement? Do you remember?
That would be Olamide.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a song called First of All. Yeah, it was a huge hit. That was my first hit. That was when I was 16.
That was when you were 16 when you made that song?
I was 16 when I made that. I was 16 when I made that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're a 16-year-old who now at that point, like, you have like this massive, I want to say weight, but it's like you got a massive hit on your shoulders now, right? You have, to some extent, a massive weight on your shoulders, because you're like, shit, like I'm 16, I got this big hit. It's like at that moment, like what is going through your head once you start seeing the numbers, once you start seeing the crowd reactions, like what are you thinking about during that time?
That time I was just glad that I could, show my dad that I got this under control. And I was glad that I was making some money, bro, because I could, take care of the folks at home and, just, look after myself and be all right.
Were you still in school at the time?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so you're doing schooling while also doing the beats.
Also doing the beats, yeah.
Was the beats like you went to a studio after school? Did you do it at home? Like what was your little setup?
I had like a small setup at home with like, a Pentium 2 laptop.
Okay.
Remember the Pentium laptops? That one, and just working there. And then on the weekends I would go to Coded Tunes, where Olamide was, and would work there as well. So it was on and off between school and sometimes I would skip school.
So your pops wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, but it got me to where I am today, so I wouldn't change that.
So now obviously like your folks are supportive of the journey. Back then I'm sure it took like a lot of kind of convincing and like understanding. Like I'm sure they didn't like fully understand what was going on at first, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, like I knew where I was going even back then, but it took a while for them to see it. Yeah, it took a while for them to see it, because it was every African parent has what what they think is best for their kid, and it's coming out of love.
Right.
You get me? But I had different plans.
I mean, I got Caribbean parents, so I definitely understand. Spanish parents are the same way. You gotta like prove to them
you
that
have to
like
be a doctor or no engineer. You look good. Engineer looks good on you.
And then meanwhile, just making the beats and shit like that. So how does like Olamide first find you? How do y'all first connect?
It was in Coded Tunes.
It was at the studio.
It was at the studio in Coded Tunes. I had a mentor then called ID Kabasa. He's a huge music producer in Africa, huge. So I gave him I gave him a CD of 20 beats.
Okay.
Then ID Kabasa, and he heard them, and I blew him away. At least that was what he said. And he called me to the studio, and that was where I met Olamide. So we were the studio rats. We were the kids that the runners in the studio. That you send to go get food or go get fuel or go buy things, and then that was how we clicked and became brothers and started working together, and from there.